Well, this will be kind of a impromptu rumble today. My sweetheart's sitting behind my main desk over there, and I'm sitting here looking into a camera. Sorry about it being kind of a dark view, but I've already had the overhead lights on and my eyes are kind of blurry right now from it. Don't leave it. No, leave it straight up to the ceiling. Don't do anything unless I ask you to, sure. See, when this computer came on, it will light my face up, and it just did. The camera's working just fine.
You look like this is a Halloween.
Like this should be Halloween. Okay.
Ghosty ghouly thing.
So what am I going to discuss on my podcast, which this is not the podcast, this is just an upload. I'll do a podcast tomorrow, hopefully with my daughter Angel with me in here. Donald John Trump stopped at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania and went in the back and learned how to make French fries. Now, you know, more and more and more people are learning that Kamala Harris lies a lot. You know, all these politicians lie. Donald Trump's lied. They all lie. But the thing is, Donald Trump literally loves his country, and I don't believe that Kamala Harris or any of those other folks do. He has the capability and did check with McDonald's corporate, and they keep record everywhere. They have an extensive database. I'm talking about McDonald's, which I believe became a national fast food restaurant chain under the tutelage of Ray Kroc in California. I believe that's right. I might be wrong, but I think I'm right on that. But they, yeah, that's where I had a blister. I lanced due to the fact it was just getting bigger and bigger. I got second-degree burns on my finger from water scalding me. My granddaughter, the lovely Zara Rose, had the same thing happen to her last night. It's from people trying to fix themselves something to eat in the nuke or in the microwave and being inept at it, and I am totally inept at it. What I need to illuminate on here, what I'm talking about is this. We're entering, and I just apprised my wife of this, and there are those of you that think I'm an idiot. I know that. Half the time, I think I'm an idiot. But on this particular bit of information, I do know whereof I speak and what that is. We as a nation are entering probably the second most dangerous time our nation has ever faced. The most dangerous time was the Civil War back in the 1800s. We reunited barely. But there are those that believe that the Civil War was about slavery, and part of it was, it really was. But part of it, the bigger part, were the southern states being carpetbagged. I don't want to use that word. They were being plundered by the northern states and nothing being returned. And the southern states had slaves, and I absolutely believe that slavery is horrendous. Most people do not understand slavery is still going on today. They call it human trafficking. It's for sexual or labor slaves. And a lot of times it's small children. I have things come across my desk. Right now I've got an aside on my desk computer over there. It is for business and for an official side hustle I have, you might say. But I've got it set up so my sweetheart can play a game. Are you playing that game?
Nope. I'm playing Gardenscape.
Oh, well, that's even better.
Yeah.
But anyway, the thing is, the people have a tendency to forget who the Democratic Party actually are. Most are socialist, Marxist. They really and truly are. They don't believe in free enterprise. They believe that the government is the end-all and be-all for the common folk, which is you and me. And it's not, folks. The United States government is supposed to be subservient to you and I, you and me, the taxpayer, the citizen. It's not that way right now. It's gotten way too big, way too involved, and they do not have our best interest at heart. They really don't. I've paid into Social Security my whole life, and I get a pittance back for how much I put into it. Thankfully, I have other streams of income. And it takes a lot of money these days, a lot of income, to keep going. And that is something that many folks do not understand, especially in the northeastern states. They do know it takes a lot to live up there. Those are expensive areas. New York State, New York City is almost impossible to live in, and that's why they have such a high homeless rate. New York City is supposed to be the cultural center of the United States, and that is not so. The same with California. You have liberal politicians that crave power. They gain power by basically grifting and grafting by trickery. But that is where we're at right now. Now, what makes this the second most dangerous time in our history? You have a non-politician. His name's Donald John Trump. And I've made no secret of it that I actually dislike the man as a human being. Yet, he is probably the only hope we have other than God Himself Almighty stepping in and fixing the problem. And the reason is Trump went in naive when he had his first term as president because he thought he understood business, and he ran the country like a business, but he didn't understand the treachery, the deep-seated treachery that rules Washington, D.C. He called it the swamp, and that's because it's on the Potomac River, and where Washington is located, originally it was a swamp. It still has areas that are swampish. But he now has a clear view of how things are. That's why he appointed or asked and accepted J.D. Vance being his vice presidential candidate. They will clean it up. They really will. Trump,
First time.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry. I said he did it the first time.
He'll do it permanently the second time. Trump grew up wealthy. J.D. Vance grew up real similar to how myself and my younger brother Chris grew up. Impoverished, a hard-scrabble existence. Our childhood was a bit worse than J.D. Vance's, but it was still a Southern childhood. And we understand hunting for your food. We understand fishing for your food. We understand doing without privation. My wife has had to understand that, being married to me in the early years, yet we are thriving. We really are. Yeah, we get depressed. We have problems like everyone else, but we've learned to overcome our problems. One of the chief ways we overcome problems is a lot of prayer, which might seem like nothing to you guys, but it is real, and it is something we utilize. We pray. We're facing an edifice. We're facing a bluff, a cliff, the edge of a cliff, and it's a long way to the bottom. So if things do not go well and like they should, I had a guy on my other channel that I won't name, but he's given me a hard time. He wonders if I were ever in the military. I don't want to see your DD-214. You know, I don't have to prove anything to anybody. Yes, I served, and I served in law enforcement. There are those that watch this Rumble channel, and those that watch my YouTube channel know it for a fact. A lot of them are longtime friends, family, and they understand some of the things I've gone through. But the deal is, J.D. Vance was in the Marine Corps. J.D. Vance had privation. He was impoverished when he was a child. They lived on food assistance. See, and Kamala Harris tried to say that, and let's see if I can light that thing up again. There you go. Kamala Harris tried to claim that she worked at McDonald's when she was a kid. She made French fries. Like I said, Trump had his organization check. They can find no trace that she ever worked at a McDonald's. She got caught in another lie. And the Democrats are desperate. Why? Because when Trump gets back in, and I believe he will, there could be an explosion in this country. A guy on Facebook posted a photograph. I'm not going to name his name. I don't have his permission to. He's a friend of mine. He's a professional musician. He's involved in Hollywood quite a bit. And he posted a picture of one guy standing up and another guy with a big belly where the other guy was pregnant with a beard. Just because you can take injections and to alter, quote unquote, your sex, your gender, doesn't mean it takes. You only have two genders, folks. That is the way God designed it. And so this other guy with the beard, the shorter guy and the big belly, sitting there rubbing its belly, and it is pregnant. I'll call it an it. I don't even consider it a human being. I had something happen to me, and I might have already put it on here and might not, but I had a gaggle of lesbians threaten to assault me at Walmart a couple of days ago, and I got out of the way. I'm an old man, and I was on one of those electric carts. I have need of one. I'm badly damaged. And rather than have a confrontation with them, I went around. That is not my normal behavior. It really isn't. But I'm trying not to be the normal me. Here's why, and I'll finish this update with this. We have to be better than we are, folks. We have to be compassionate. We have to be kind. We have to go ahead and stare at that. I'm going to show folks what my sweetheart looks like. She's sitting there playing a game. But I do have my wife in here with me. And if I say something that's not true, she'll call me on it. I promise you. Has our whole marriage. But the deal is, we have to be kind. We have to learn to think the way God would have us think. Now, that does not mean you have to just stand there and let someone beat you to death or rob you or anything else. I never will allow that to happen to myself or anybody else I'm in the vicinity of. I spent 28 and a half years taking care of other people, and the rest of my life I will do that. But that does not mean I cannot be compassionate. I cannot help others. I had a friend of mine that works at Walmart. My son Bo and his wife Angel work there, and the friend was out. When I go to Walmart in the mornings, a lot of times I'll go get a sandwich or a Nathan's hot dog, sit and feed the birds part of it. I did that this morning. There's something about little birds showing up, and this time it wasn't grackles, it was a sparrow of some kind, I think. And there was a bunch of them, and they were chirping and just enjoying it. And they'd watered the plants, and there were little pools of water in different places, and they'd swoop down and get a drink, and I started chunking crust out there. And they showed up and started eating, and I enjoyed the fact I could share with them. But be compassionate and kind to everyone and everything. I'm not a Buddhist. I'm a dyed-in-the-wool Christian, absolutely. And, you know, he's coming back, but we have some perilous times before the Savior gets back here. And that's what I'm making this video about. You need to find a way to preserve your own life and the lives of those you love. You need a support base. Get you one. Friends, family, whatever. On my video that I did upload it to Rumble, I think. I have homeless friends here in Oklahoma, and there's nothing I can do for them. I really can't. I have actually sent 20, I think one homeless friend, I sent on a money app, I sent her $50. I have a homeless friend up by Tulsa, one up in the farthest northern part of Oklahoma up by Bartlesville. I have one up in northwestern Oklahoma, almost to the Panhandle, and I have one down by Altus, and I've got one more that is down by Tomball, Texas, down by Houston. I have a late friend, Cliff Jones, used to live down there, and at times Cliff would go help homeless people. He was a very compassionate man. I miss him when I think about him. But I have sent him money. The thing that I would like to emphasize right now, of those 6 friends, none of them are a meth addict. None of them are a drug addict. The one thing that they had wrong in their life is they did not have a support base. You have to create that. You have to have one, folks. No man is an island. I'm not. And you've got to literally do the best you can do to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, because if you can't be strong on your own, a weak person cannot help other people. And then you need to do what you can to help those you care about, that you love. Mine does not extend only to my family, it extends to friends. And that is real. That is something that I really want to emphasize one more time. We're heading into some very dangerous times. You need to learn to protect yourself if you don't know how. 3 of the 6 friends I've got that are homeless actually have a tent, and they go find a place in the woods to sleep. And I will say this, out of the 6 of them, 4 of them do not panhandle. They figure out how to get a little extra money going. All 6 of them were 2 paychecks away from being homeless. And that's what a lot of people are in that position right now. The economy is not good. It's not going to get better unless somebody takes a hold of it and shakes it and makes it become better. The thing that folks do not understand, the big oil companies run this nation, regardless of what you think. When Rockefeller had them, the United States government broke up his monopoly. They fixed it so he couldn't have absolute control on all of it. So he went from that to the pharmaceuticals. Well, big pharma and big oil run this nation. If you don't know that, you need to do some research. And the military-industrial complex is who calls the shots on almost everything. What I want you to do today, if you're watching this, get on Google, Bing, whatever search engine you've got, Yahoo, and just look up, type in what U.S. presidents cannot do. It will give you a comprehensive list. Then you will know more than most of the folks out here. Well, guys and gals, I've got to get off of here. My wife is getting ready to have to vacate my desk because I've got to upload this. Love you guys. Now, go take on the day. Bye.